See, like the term resolution is kind of shat on a little bit, right? Like New Year's resolution, it loses its integrity because it's so overused. And in preparation for this podcast, I don't normally prep for podcasts at all, but I normally just kind of sit and flow with it. But I did get sent a collection of questions, so I was like, fuck it, I'll have a look. And one of the questions was around resolutions. And I was like, well, what does the word resolution actually mean? Because society has this funny way of taking words and then twisting them over time so that they actually lose their integrity. And the word resolution actually means to make a firm decision about about what we will or will not do. And the word decision, or the word decide rather, the etymology of the word decide is to cut off, right? So it literally means to cut off all other options. And so the really cool thing is when we make a resolution that is in alignment with who we truly are and what we truly want, we won't be pulled off center by anything. We've made a firm decision that we're getting it done, right? Or we're not going to indulge in a particular behavior. Hey Grace, how are we? Long time no see, babe. And so it's deciding, it's making the decision to cut off all other possibilities. And that looks like, hey Mel, how are you, babe? One of my warrior women. It literally means no matter what happens outside of us, no matter what our external circumstances, no matter what plays out in our world, the decision is made. A resolution means no matter what, it's a firm decision, we're getting it done, right? And so I think this is why it's so important. Hey Taryn. It's why it's so important for us to make New Year's resolutions, which I don't even like the term New Year's resolution, because why wait until New Year's? If we want to change our world, let's change it now, right? Let's not mess around and wait until, the 1st of January before we kick off changing our damn lives. But I totally just lost my train of thought. That's why it's so important to make sure you're setting your resolutions from a place of what's truly most in alignment to you, right? I think goal setting gets so pedestaled as though it's like even SMART goals, they get so pedestaled as like the be all to end all way to get shit done. But the truth is, whether you write your goals down or not, whether you, make them measurable and specific and attainable and I don't even know, within a certain time frame and whatever. I don't even know what SMART goals means, to be honest. Something like that. When it's truly in alignment with who you're here to be and what you most deeply want from a soul place, from a heart-driven space, you don't need to write that shit down because you go out and make it happen regardless, right? And so that comes back to being in integrity with who you are, being your word and not speaking something unless it's true for you, unless it's unless you mean it, right? Because words don't mean shit. And I know this may come across a little bit harsh, but when it's easy to speak a lot. And when we speak a lot and don't follow through, we actually create mistrust. We create a distrust not only with others, where people can no longer trust our word, and it creates a disconnect, but it also creates a disconnect with ourselves, right? When we make a verbal commitment and then we are out of integrity with that verbal commitment, we create a distrust within ourselves. And it's a subtle manipulation technique. It's a subtle manipulation technique and a people-pleasing tendency to voice something which you have no intention of following through on. And that's not to say you can't ever fuck up, because humans fuck up, right? Like, shit happens, we get stuck in traffic, we sleep through alarms, whatever, right? But the key is to be conscientious with our word, to have our word be our bond in as many places as possible, because words are powerful, right? Abracadabra means something along the lines that I'm about to butcher it, but as I speak, so I create. And so it's so friggin' important to watch your mouth. Watch your mouth.